Let's get started by taking stock of the different items we'll be dealing with in the creation of a template and the terminology of said items. And what finer place to start than with the very thing that's going to host your plugins, an instrument channel or virtual instrument channel. These have the same features as an audio channel, but unlike audio channels, which process sound coming from audio regions on audio tracks, instrument channels host the actual sound source, and the tracks they're associated with are MIDI tracks. When you add a virtual instrument or sampler plugin to an empty instrument channel, you could say that, well, you're installing it or adding it or loading one into the instrument channel, but many people use the word instantiate. Now, this word is used because we're adding a single instance of that plugin. So here I'm instantiating an instance of Kontakt into the instrument channel. Now, I use this word instantiate from time to time, but I really just find it easier to say that I'm adding an instance of Kontakt or Play or whatever to the channel. Okay, moving on. The most basic approach to setting up a sampler instrument is where you've loaded it up with just one patch, or sound, or preset, or instrument, or samples. Yes, here again in Terminologyville, there are 10,000 words that mean the same thing. But back to the idea of loading up a plugin with just a singular sound, here I've got an instance of Kontakt loaded up with the stock trumpet patch from the band instruments folder. This is a very basic patch which only does just one sound, sustained trumpet. There's no key switching or anything. And typically when a sampler instrument is hosting just one sound, you'd play it on MIDI channel 1. In fact, when you load up a single sound in Kontakt or Play, they default to setting the MIDI channel for that sound to channel 1. A more complex type of patch is like this cinematic strings to violin section, which is a key switching instrument, where all the samples that get loaded up are related to one instrument sound, so it's considered a single sound and it would be played on a single MIDI channel, again usually channel 1. Here's another example of a single sound, this time an instance of East-West Play loaded up with the All Cymbals patch, which is a collection of individual velocity switching cymbal samples mapped across the keyboard. Even though no two cymbals are the same, they're all contained in one patch and you'd play it on just one MIDI channel. We can refer to this kind of thing as a mapped instrument or an instrument collection. Another type of mapped instrument is a drum kit or orchestral percussion kit, where the patch contains all manner of different drum and percussion sounds mapped across the keyboard. But the patches are designed so that all the different drum sounds can be played from the same MIDI channel. Now, drum kits or collections of orchestral percussion could be considered multi-timbral because in music, the term timbre refers to the different tone colors of different instruments. But when it comes to MIDI and orchestral templates, the term multitimbral is used exclusively to refer to a virtual instrument that's been loaded up with more than one patch and where each one responds on a different MIDI channel. I'll set one up right now, starting with that All Cymbals patch on channel 1, and now I'm going to add two other cymbal sounds into this same instance of Play to create a multi-timbral setup. So the first one I'm going to add to this is a mod wheel controlled 18-inch Zildjian cymbal, and as you can see, Play automatically assigned it to the next available MIDI channel, channel 2. Now I'm going to add the mod wheel controlled 26-inch version of this cymbal, and Play automatically assigned it to the next available MIDI channel, channel 3. So now if I send this plugin MIDI on channel 1, I'm playing the All Cymbals patch. If I send it MIDI on channel 2, which I'm doing now, I'm playing the 18-inch Zildjian sound. And if I send it MIDI on channel 3, I can play the 26-inch Zildjian sound. So again, when we're talking about multi-timbral plugin setups, we're not talking about whether the sounds we're loading up have distinctively different tone colors or come from entirely different instrument families. A multi-timbral setup is all about loading up multiple sounds into a single instance of a plugin, like play or contact, and setting each sound to respond on a different MIDI channel. So in a way, play and contact are like virtual instrument racks, which can be set up to house multiple sounds within the nice, neat little package of a single plugin. Now we have this term multi-timbral to describe this kind of setup. There really isn't a word for a plugin loaded with just a single preset. So from time to time, I'm going to refer to those as single timbral sounds. Just a couple of extra things and then we're done with this tutorial. First, I wanted to mention that you don't need to put plugins like play or contact into any kind of special mode to make them be specifically single timbral or multi-timbral. All you have to do is instantiate the plugin, and if you want to make it single timbral, you just load up one sound. If you want to make it multi-timbral, load up multiple sounds. That's all there is to it. But there is a lot more to cover about using multi-timbral plugins, such as how to break out all the individual sounds to separate outputs, and why you might want to consider not using multi-timbral setups. And we'll take a look at all that stuff and much more as we continue our exploration of multi-timbral setups in the next tutorial.